Hello, book lovers. Today I'm going to be doing 3 quick book reviews of books that have intersex main characters. I'm not an intersex person, I'm a gender fluid person, so I can't speak from an intersex perspective, so just keep that in mind. Let me know if I say anything wrong. First book on my list of intersex narratives was Middlesex by Eugenides. I was really excited to read this. I've been meaning to read it for a while because I really loved The Virgin Suicides. But I have to say I was a little disappointed with this one. There's a lot to go into here. The main character here was raised as a girl, and then when they reach puberty they start to develop like secondary sex characteristics that you would associate with a man. If you're going into this book expecting it to be just about the main character's life as an intersex person, be prepared that they first go into their grandparents' lives and their parents' lives. It takes a while to get to their own narrative. And I felt like their narrative was the most interesting part. It took a while for me to get into the book, to be honest. My sister just got home. I'm recording book reviews right now. Come be in my vlog. There were a few sort of comments and attitudes about gender in this book that didn't really sit right with me. There's the idea in this book that intersex people are the product of incest and the genetic mutation that can only come forth when people of the same family have a child. There's also a really great romance with the main character and one of their female friends when they're an adolescent, so they think that they're a girl who has a crush on a girl, and they have really strong romantic feelings and sexual feelings for each other. The narrator comments on this by saying that they should have taken their crush on this girl as evidence for the fact that they weren't actually female. Why? Why? Girls can have crushes on girls. It's a thing, I promise you. I don't want to go into much more at the risk of spoiling things. I did enjoy it despite its issues. So let's move on. Next up is Annabel by Kathleen Winter. This book, conversely, is about an intersex person who was raised as a boy and has a sort of sexual assignment surgery at birth. Throughout their whole life, they don't really feel comfortable in a male box, essentially. And as they start to become an adolescent and an adult, they sort of accept themselves as a more neutral gender, which is great. The main character in Annabel doesn't seem to think that they have to transition to the other side of the binary. I really liked the whole feel of this book. It takes place like in rural Canada, which it was really cool to see how like someone who questions the gender binary would fit into a very binary world. Also has great commentary on the patriarchy, especially concerning the main character's father and his journey towards accepting the main character. One thing I didn't like, though, was how the mother was such an important character, like in the beginning and throughout a whole lot of the book, and then towards the end, like, we start to hear some about her mental health issues. She's not doing so well. By the end, she just sort of disappears. We don't find out what happens to her. We don't find out if she's okay. It was, that was super frustrating. Moving right along, we've got Pantomime by Laura Lam. I really liked this book. It's the first in a series. It takes place in a fantasy world. The main character is raised as a girl in a noble family, and then when they discover that their family has plans to make them undergo a surgery, they run away and join the circus, because that's awesome. Another great thing about this representation was that the main character seems to have some superpowers that are related to their identity as an intersex person, which is just so cool. I really loved seeing the character's journey towards discovering what gender choices make them the most comfortable. When they were being raised as a girl, they didn't enjoy being put in a feminine role or feminine clothes, but when they're in the circus and they start wearing a dress for a performance, they comment on the fact that when it's a choice, they really like appearing feminine. I feel like my one complaint about this book was that the writing style sometimes got a little dull, like the sentence structure would be very similar from sentence to sentence, but I still really enjoyed this. I liked the characters, I liked the world and the feeling of it, I liked the story, and the ending was a freaking doozy, so I cannot wait to read the second one. So those are my book reviews of these 3 books. If you have any recommendations for other books that have intersex main characters or gender fluid main characters, like, I would love to read them. I love books that deal with gender so much. And hope everybody's having a great week. Peace be in the galaxy, fools.